Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Final week of the new year. Moving into the new year, I should say. Final week of 2022, but final week of moving into the new year. For some people, that means new beginnings. For others, that might mean some closure. Regardless of where you're at in life and your journey, I want to take some time to encourage you. So, a lot of people, right, they end a new year maybe with excitement, right? Coming out of the holiday season, it's a joyous time for them. They have maybe expectation or hope moving into the new year. And then for others, it could be a sorrowful time. Maybe you lost a loved one during the holidays, or maybe you just feel lonely in a sense of sadness, or maybe the year was such a struggle for you that you're just, you're not looking forward to what's around the bend in 2023. Regardless of where you are, no judgment here. It doesn't matter. We're all in different phases in different walks of life, but ultimately we're in this journey of life together, and that gives us the opportunity to potentially grow together and pivot ourselves, pivot our attitudes and mindsets, and maybe just shift our focus and our direction as we go into a new year. So, something I wanted to talk about for a minute that I get a lot of questions about is a tool and a strategy that's it's been around really since the 1980s, but the product comes from a company that's 175 years old. And the strategy and the way that our company and team does it is really uniquely powerful to most of what is done out there. So I want to ask you this question. Do you have a bank account down the street? Do you bank with your local Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, maybe a local credit union? Doesn't matter who it is. Most of us have a bank that we utilize down the street or maybe a little further away, wherever it is. And what does that bank do every single day? Well, before they open up that bank branch, right? They go in there, manager or whoever's running things, and they unlock those doors. They open up the bank, right? They turn on the lights and get their computers set up, right? And let the bankers in and their employees before they can potentially start letting their depositors in, right? Their clientele, if you will. And so what responsibility does the bank have, like any bank does, as far as overhead, right? They got to pay to keep the bank lights on, right? They got to pay for the electricity and the power, maybe some heat in the winter and air conditioning in the summer. And, they've got to pay those employees as well, right? They've got to, be paid their salary or their hourly wage, whatever that might be. So, that is the overhead cost of a bank. And so what we do is we teach and we show people how essentially doing a balance transfer, taking your traditional bank savings account that you've got with whoever it is, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, whoever it might be, and transferring that into a liquid life insurance savings account. All the same benefits, but so much more. Your traditional savings account may be paying you what, 0.5% to leave your money in there, 1%, maybe 2% if they're really, really uber generous. But for the most part, that bank, after you make that deposit, right, legally, they can loan out approximately 97 cents of every dollar that you deposit to make money on those loans. That is what banking is. So you, instead of depositing your money into that local bank branch where they're making the majority of their profits off of your money, profiting from the spread because they loan that money back out again, right? And they make a profit on that spread. You have the opportunity to become your own bank, essentially, to open up your own bank branch from your home, from your office, which is a liquid life insurance savings account, okay? And the way that this works is once you have that in place, right, you'll have a certain amount of money called a death benefit, which you'll have access to. And you'll have a certain amount of money that you will be able to take loans from. Okay, the traditional way that we understand loans, right? Traditional bankings, if you go to Wells Fargo, if you go to Bank of America and you take out a loan, right, there's going to be interest on you paying back that loan. Now, what happens if you default and you stop making those minimum payments? Well, you go into what's called default, right? What does the bank do? They're going to move on, right? Say, no problem, you couldn't pay us back. We're gonna move on to the next guy, and hope that he pays back his loan to us. No, no way. The bank is going to take action against you to get their money back, right? There is an adverse effect that happens when we don't pay back a traditional loan. However, when you are borrowing money from a liquid life insurance savings account, that's what's called a non-recourse loan. So you are making a withdrawal from your bank account. Again, don't get hung up on this being liquid life insurance account. It's your personal bank savings account, okay? You've made a balance transfer from your traditional account to this liquid insurance bank account, and now you're taking loans out that are non-recourse. You're making withdrawals. So let's say hypothetically, right, that company charges you 4% to take out that loan. Well, traditionally, these particular accounts are making about 7 to 8%. So what happens there is a spread. There's that difference, right? Whether it be 3, 4, 5%, whatever it is, you are making money to borrow your own money from your bank, right? You got to have a business mindset, okay? We're talking about owning a business, right? If you own a bank, if you bought a local Wells Fargo or Bank of America branch, right, and you're doing banking, you own that business. That's your business. It's the same mindset you have to have when you practice banking, just like the banks using a liquid life insurance account, right? You essentially own your own bank. You are the owner. You are the grantor, if you will, just like you would be the grantor if you created a living trust or estate plan. That is yours. It is your prerogative to run that how you wish to run it. And this is what's so cool about it, right? Is that instead of you giving your deposits to another bank down the road and then loaning out that money to somebody else and making money on your money that they loaned out, well, you're essentially borrowing from your own local bank branch because it's your account, it's your bank, and you instead are making the money back on the spread or the difference. And what's the best part about taking a loan from your own bank, from your own liquid life insurance account? The best part is that there are no recourse effects. It's what's known as a non-recourse loan, meaning what? Unlike Bank of America, unlike Wells Fargo or Chase, they are not going to come after you if you don't pay back the loan. There's no adverse effect because it's your bank. It's your money. So you don't ever have to pay that loan back. It will be deducted from your death benefit, yes, which is going to be particularly, significantly large for the most part for most people. And you get to earn money on the spread. So you are making withdrawals and you're putting deposits back in. Yes, we have software, just like the banks do, that tell you when to do this. And you are essentially banking just like the bank does down there at Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, whatever it is. And it's so cool. So I just wanted to try and lay that out for you in as simple as terms as possible, layman terms, right? Because people think this is some new idea. This is, some, next fad out there. No, it's not. It's been honed. It's been perfected, but the strategy has been around for a while. However, most people take the approach of doing it with a whole life insurance policy, which traditionally means you're not going to have access to that money right away, right? It could be 4, 5 years before you can tap into that. Well, we use a different type of insurance account that is liquid, that just like a savings account, right? You need that money. You go down to your local bank, right? And you're like, I need to make a withdrawal. I got to go buy a new car. I got to get the water heater fixed, whatever it is. and you've got access to that account. However, if you take a loan out from your local Bank of America or Wells Fargo or Chase, you are going to have to pay that loan back with interest. When you take money out of your own liquid insurance bank account, you get to make money on that account. It is your bank, it is essentially your business, and you are learning to do exactly precisely what the banks do as they lend out money. And again, this is why large companies and corporations and CEOs take out life insurance policies like this on their key employees, because they own that policy. Something happens to that employee, that very large death benefit, who gets that? The company gets that, because they bought it, they paid for it, they own it. Just like you, this is your account. You own it, you funded it, you get to benefit from what is in there. And so it's an extraordinary tool. We have a wonderful workshop webinar that will educate you on how this works in more detail. It's just something that I'm so passionate about people understanding and knowing about moving into 2023, because again, we're living in times of volatility, of economic uncertainty, where we just don't know what's around the corner next, right? Nobody does. And there's so much of the unexpected. And the worst thing for anybody in any stage or phase of life, right, is to be caught off guard, to be caught unawares, or to be hurt or damaged because of ignorance or naivety. And so there's so many tools and strategies out there that it's not been public knowledge or information, or you had to have a high net worth in order to be able to do what the wealthy were doing, or be able to have access to these tools and strategy. Well, things have changed, right? Again, the advances in technology and artificial intelligence have made the average public, everyday Joes and Jills out there, giving them the opportunity, right, to do the same thing, to have access to the same type of accounts and to the same tools and strategies and keys that other people are using out there. So again, just quick overview on banking like banks, why we teach and encourage people to do that. We're not teaching you to be like the banks, or we're not teaching you to be like a greedy big banker, or mimic somebody that wants to take advantage of another person. We're teaching you to bank like the banks. We're teaching you to mimic and to imitate what banks do each and every single day, by having a business owner mindset, by having an entrepreneurial mindset, and positioning yourself in a place where you can benefit from the deposits and the withdrawals that you make, instead of somebody else and the banks benefiting from your money being put into their savings account. So again, encourage you guys, you can go to calebkidcoy.com/bank like banks and register for that workshop webinar, and I'll be happy to send that to you so you can learn more, get more details. And hey, coming up this Wednesday at noon, we are doing an extraordinary educational workshop webinar, and we're going to be talking a lot about getting healthy, natural weight loss. We're going to be talking about why leptin and insulin levels get damaged over the years in our bodies, and we're going to have a wonderful naturopathic doctor and certified registered RN on the program with us. And we just want to, again, as we finish up this final week of 2022 and we move into 2023, we want to impart hope to you. We want to impart courage to you. We just want to say, hey, you can choose to have faith over fear, regardless of what's happening around us in our world. And it's so easy to get distracted, guys. I know it's so easy to feel pulled and tugged in multiple directions. I know how it goes, and it's difficult sometimes to find that uber laser focus that we need. So I want to encourage you to take some time to assess, to evaluate, what do I personally really need to focus on in my life coming into this new year? What do I need to transform? And it may be a number of things, but if it's your health, you're like, Caleb, I haven't been living a healthy lifestyle. I want to, I need to lose weight. I want to be more active. Then bam, start with that, because again, the body mind soul relationship, again, it's all tied in. And if you're unhealthy in one area, it's going to affect you in the other. So if you're unhealthy physically, obviously, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, that's going to be difficult for you to be healthy in. And then if you're obviously unhealthy mentally, emotionally, psychologically, that can easily have negative and adverse side effects on your overall physical health and well-being. So as I touched on before, we want to help create and empower whole people, whole individuals, body, mind, soul, spirit, each and every area that you want to improve in. You can, and I believe you will, but it's a journey, right? There's steps required. It doesn't happen overnight. We're not talking to you about some, fast food quick fix. And we live in this fast food society, right, where mainstream and online internet, everything bombards us on a regular basis with some quick fix program, whether that be for our health, for our business. Guys, it is a lifestyle. It is a discipline. It's each and every day saying, you know what, I choose to improve. I choose to do better. I choose to be better than I was yesterday. I choose to try again. No matter if I fell on my face flat 20 times the day before, you get back up and you keep going. And that creates resilience. That creates strength and fortitude. And you got to have that physically, mentally, and emotionally in all areas of life. So guys, I'm super excited for people, right? Like, I am not going to let all the garbage that's going on out there in our world drag me down or drag other people down. I know it's not easy. I know there's challenges around us, there are challenges in front of us, and you and I may not know what's going on in each of our respective personal lives, and the various struggles that we each may be facing or enduring, or what's going on with somebody else's life. So I encourage you to try and show empathy, compassion, be kind as much as is humanly possible. We haven't walked in one another's shoes, and so we don't know what it's like, right? We're not in one another's head, thank God. So again, guys, I'm excited for you. I know that the future is bright for people that are willing to take action, to take steps to move toward a better life, a better future legacy. And so I'm building a community, I'm building a tribe with others in 2023 that's around legacy, that's all about legacy, that we're building an epic family legacy together, that we want to build ourselves and one another up to be the kind of person that we can look in the mirror each and every day and say, wow, that is a beautiful, imperfect individual. I love that person who's looking back at me in the mirror, and I believe in that person who's looking back at me in the mirror. So I believe in you. I believe in your future legacy. I believe in your ability to do extraordinary things. But sometimes it takes just a few little micro steps, micro tweaks, micro changes in your life that eventually creates momentum that becomes explosive, momentum that becomes extraordinary, and with the help of others, takes you level upon level, higher and higher, to a place where you just feel powerful. I mean, I want you to feel powerful going into 2023. I don't just want to empower you. I want you to feel powerful. I want you to know that you're powerful and be able to say, I don't give a crap what anybody else thinks or has to say about me. I know who I am. I know what my mission and purpose is in life. I know what my goals are and what I want to attain, and those changes that I want to see happen. In hell or high water, nobody's going to stop me from making that happen. So let's get out there, guys. Strength and honor. Let's get out there and do it together. Look forward to seeing you on Wednesday at noon for the live webinar. You can find that Zoom link in the comments, or shoot me a direct message and I'll be happy to send you the link. All right, guys, let's get it rocking and rolling. Ciao.